Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, I slept well. How's everyone doing? Hey from Seattle. Hey from Phoenix. What's going on? I've been Black Canyon City. Hey, it's not too far away. Up the road a piece. G'day, mate. How's it going? Good morning and good coffee. We got Illinois in here. Yes. Well, you know, I've been working like crazy on the Q books. Haven't been on Periscope a whole lot. Just writing and writing and editing and writing and editing, and that's what I really enjoy doing. It is my first love. Got to get my arms adjusted on my chair here. So, wanted to talk a little bit about Chris Wray, since I was following things a little bit on Twitter yesterday, and people were just losing their minds over Chris Wray and his testimony yesterday. And I'm going to talk about that, but first I want to talk about the Q book. Books, plural. So, the status on the Q books is this. I have the manuscript for the first Q book finished. The manuscript is finished. It's been edited. I gave it to Denise. She has it, and she's working on the cover artwork. She is looking at there's a very long process that goes into when you're self-published like we are. There's a long process that goes into publishing a book. Writing the book is part of it. Then you have to edit it. Then you have to create all the artwork and the front matter and the back matter, and you have to write a description for everything social media wise, and then she has to flow it into InDesign, and then she has to take the text and fit it into every page has to be custom fit in InDesign to make it look right. So it's a process to get a book published when you are self-published. Hey, good morning from Maryland. So we're working on getting that first book out. We do not do pre-orders. I tried to do pre-orders once a long time ago with a book that I published on Amazon, and it's a nightmare. It's horrible to do pre-orders. So we're not doing pre-orders on any of the books. When the book is out, it'll be out. I can't tell you when it'll be out. Don't know when it'll be finished. Hopefully in a couple of weeks. What I'm doing now is I'm actually working on the second, third, and fourth books. I'm taking the information from Q's post, gathering all the information, gathering the posts, gathering all my comments, and the information and the research and the news links and everything that I did to research basically from December of 2017 through June of 2018, and I'm taking all that information, putting it in folders, and creating documents that are going to be drafts for the second, third, and fourth Q books. That is what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I'm just working on these books. I got to get them done. Got to get them out. So that is kind of my workflow every day. I keep track of what's happening on Twitter a little bit. Keep up to date by listening to Brendan. By the way, Brendan and I are going to be doing a scope on Saturday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time. We're driving out to his place, and I'll be hanging out in at his place, and we'll be doing a scope together. The brother's from Arizona. He doesn't live very far. It's like a 15-minute drive from my place to his place. So that's the Q book. And I'll talk about Chris Wray. So, if you follow Q, you know that Q has said, trust Mike Pompeo, trust Sessions, trust Wray, right? And one of the things that we saw with Jeff Sessions was he began getting rid of corrupt people in the FBI Department of Justice. James Comey and Andrew McCabe were fired by Jeff Sessions, under Jeff Sessions, right? Sessions began the clean out of all the corruption in the FBI and DOJ. Okay? Now, a lot of people are irritated because there weren't any arrests while Jeff Sessions was Attorney General. That's fine. If you have any common sense at all, you realize that you could go and arrest Hillary and all the corrupt people in the deep state if you wanted to. But if you have a corrupt top-level management in the FBI and Department of Justice, no one's going to get convicted. You can arrest them, you can put them on trial. They're not going to be convicted. The prosecutors will mishandle the prosecution and they'll all walk. Or the investigators will mishandle the investigations and they'll all walk. You have to first clean out the DOJ and the FBI before you can expect any of these people to be successfully prosecuted and convicted. You have to clean up the justice system. So Trump has been working on judicial appointments with Mitch McConnell. They've been getting rid of all these corrupt people in the FBI, Department of Justice. Who is the guy who's been getting rid of all these deep state rats in the FBI? That would be Chris Wray, right? So I've talked about this so many times. I feel like I'm talking to the wall sometimes, but James Baker, former chief counsel for the FBI, he was in on the Spygate plot, gone. Who fired him? Chris Wray. Dave Loftman, gone. Kevin Kleinsmith, gone. Josh Campbell, gone. The list goes on. Just go down the list. All these people have been fired from the FBI. Jim Rubicki. Let me tell you about Jim. Who's Jim Rubicki? Jim Rubicki was the chief of staff of the FBI. He was James Comey's chief of staff. Okay, Rubicki was a deep state rat. You know how Jim Rubicki got fired? Well, let me explain. So, back about, let's see. It was shortly after Chris Wray took his job as FBI director, actually. He'd been working for the Bureau for a couple of months. And a news story came out that Chris Wray was going to step down as FBI director. Within 24 hours of that story hitting the newspapers, Jim Rubicki was fired. I believe Chris Wray leaked to Rubicki a fake news story, knowing that he would leak it to the press. And when that story went out, Chris Wray got rid of him for leaking. Right? Who's been doing the investigations and getting rid of all these people that have been leaking to the press? Who is working with Horowitz in all of this, the leaking classified information to the media? Who do you think is helping put all that together? Chris Wray. He's the one that's helping do all that. So just consider this. Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of Chris Wray for like 10 minutes. You are the director of an agency that is being attacked every day by patriotic Americans who are pissed off and upset that illegal spying was done on candidate Trump and then President Trump. That people have kind of become aware that there was a lot of corruption in the FBI. Multiple investigations are going on, leaking investigations. People are getting fired. Morale at the FBI has got to be at a historic low. Imagine you are the guy that is the captain of that ship. All right, you have to go in every day and try to keep these people, the good cops at the FBI, from quitting. We're in a culture now where everybody on social media wants these people strung up. They think the FBI is absolutely corrupt from top to bottom, and you're the head of that agency. What are you going to try to do to keep morale high, to keep those agents from just throwing their badge down and quitting? You have to go in there every day and deal with this. He has to clean up the mess that Comey and McCabe made of the FBI. Now, just let me ask you just a simple question. You're going to go into Congress and you're going to testify and you're going to answer a bunch of stupid questions that have been asked a million times. And you know that these people in Congress want to dance around this word spying. Right? So do you honestly think as the director of the FBI, it is in your best interest and the interest of the Bureau, in a culture where everyone wants these people strung up, do you think it's in your best interest to go into Congress and tell Congress, yep, our agents were illegally spying on everybody, we didn't have adequately predicated surveillance, we didn't get adequate just cause for our warrants, everything these guys did was corrupt, they're all terrible, I don't even know how I can stand being around these people. Do you think it is in the best interest of Chris Wray and the Bureau for him to go into Congress and tell Congress and the American people that the Bureau is corrupt from top to bottom, that all kinds of illegal things are going on, and it's just as terrible as everyone thinks it is? Would that be the smartest thing for Chris Wray to do? No. Everyone with a microphone and a camera right now is criticizing and attacking the FBI. All of their sins and indiscretions are going to be coming out in these reports. Huber and Horowitz and all these reports that are coming out, and the Comey report, they're going to be dragging out all the dirt on the FBI in the next couple of months. Chris Wray's job is to try to keep morale high enough so that this agency doesn't self-destruct. That's what's happening right now. They've been torpedoed and they're taking on water, and he has to get this stupid boat to the docks so that it can be repaired. And while the agency is being ripped apart by investigators and the media, Chris Wray probably has the toughest job in America right now. He has to try to keep this agency together while Barr and Trump and his people try to figure out what they're going to do to salvage it, right? So if you listen to Brendan Dilley wants the FBI disbanded, gone, fire everybody, do something else. I don't know that that's a realistic possibility. I think it is realistic to expect that the FBI is going to be reformed. There are going to be some changes made, I think, to the structure of the FBI and to the way that they do business. I think the DOJ and FBI both are going to be restructured in some way. I think the same thing is going to happen to the Fed. Federal Reserve is going to be restructured. Under Trump has identified the ways in which corruption has seeped into these agencies, and he is going to work with his people to put in place a system of checks and balances so that that kind of corruption does not happen again. But for right now, Chris Wray has a very difficult job. He has to, when everybody in the country knows that there is corruption and horrible practices and abuse of power, abuse of the surveillance systems, Chris Wray can't go and tell and here's part of the problem. It's expectations. People expect, you and I, we expect Chris Wray to go in front of Congress and tell the truth. You expect Chris Wray to go in there and confirm everything that Barr said. Yep, there was spying. Yep, there was unpredicated spying. Yep, they used unverified information in the Steele dossier to get the FISA warrant on Carter Page. Yep, it was all, it was all done wrong, right? You expect Chris Wray to go in and tell the truth. There's no way he's going to do that. It is not in his best interest to do that. All he's going to do is further hurt the image of the FBI, which is already about as bad as it can get, and it's going to get worse.
He has to be careful with his words.
And Chris Wray has to be, thank you, honey, he has to be very careful with his words, especially knowing that there are all kinds of ongoing investigations right now by a lot of different people. Wray cannot be forthcoming and honest and transparent about any of this stuff. It's not in his best interest to just blab about everything that's going on with all these investigations. The investigations will drag out the truth. In a couple of months, we're all going to know what's what, who the bad actors are, what happened, how much leaking, how much collusion with the press, to what degree the White House was involved in the State Department. We're going to know all that stuff. It's all coming out. It's not in Chris Wray's best interest to go in front of Congress and be transparent right now. It's not. It doesn't mean he's a black hat. It means he's trying to take care of an agency that is just getting hammered right now. And I, for one, would not want his job. So those are my thoughts on Chris Wray. I was just stewing yesterday as I'm watching all these people on social media bashing Chris Wray. Dan Bongino and Hannity last night, they're all taking the bait, thinking that you can evaluate Chris Wray based on, a couple of things that he said in Congress yesterday. You can't evaluate Chris Wray by that. Evaluate him by what is happening in the Bureau. Think about all the corrupt people that have been fired and think about who is responsible for firing those people. If Chris Wray was a black hat, if he was a deep state asset, he wouldn't be firing all these corrupt people. And what you're going to find out in the coming months as all these investigations come out is that Wray is cooperating with Horowitz and Huber and all the other people that are doing investigations. That's what you're going to find out. All right, that's it. Love you all. I got to finish my coffee. Take care. Brendan will be on today, probably about an hour. I'll be on Brendan's broadcast. And maybe I'll see you Saturday night at Brendan's place. Love you all. Take care.